In recent years, Japan has been taking significant steps to strengthen its military capabilities. The Japanese self-defense forces, once limited by the country's pacifist constitution, are now undergoing a transformation. Modernization efforts are underway, with new equipment, advanced training, and a renewed sense of purpose. This shift is not happening in isolation, but as a direct response to the changing security environment in East Asia. The Japanese government and its people are increasingly concerned about the growing threats in the region. One of the most pressing concerns is the rise of China as a military power. China's rapid military expansion and assertive actions in nearby waters have raised alarms in Tokyo. Japanese defense officials frequently address these issues in press conferences, emphasizing the need for vigilance and preparedness. A major flashpoint is the dispute over islands in the East China Sea, which both Japan and China claim as their own. Tensions flare whenever Chinese vessels approach these contested territories. But China is not the only concern. Russia, too, has been increasing its military presence near Japan, sending aircraft and ships close to Japanese airspace and waters. Russian warships and military aircraft have been spotted more frequently near Japanese territory. Japanese radar stations and defense systems are constantly on alert, tracking these movements and preparing for any potential escalation. The presence of Russian forces so close to Japan's borders is a stark reminder of the complex security challenges the country faces. North Korea remains another major source of anxiety for Japan. The regime's unpredictable behavior and ongoing missile development programs are closely monitored by Japanese authorities. North Korea's displays of military power, including parades showcasing missiles capable of reaching Japan, are broadcast widely in Japanese media, fueling public concern. In recent years, North Korea has launched several missiles that have flown directly over Japanese territory, triggering emergency alerts and sirens in cities across the country. These incidents have left many Japanese citizens feeling vulnerable and anxious about the possibility of a future attack. The constant stream of news about regional threats has made the Japanese public increasingly nervous. Defense analysts and experts appear regularly on television, discussing the risks and urging the government to take decisive action to ensure national security. In response, Japan is ramping up its defense efforts. The self-defense forces are conducting more frequent and intensive training exercises, preparing for a range of possible scenarios. Soldiers are equipping themselves with the latest gear, and Japanese warships are patrolling the seas to deter any potential aggression. At the same time, Japan is investing heavily in the development of new and advanced weapons. Engineers and scientists are working on cutting-edge technologies, such as railguns and missile defense systems, to give Japan a technological edge in any future conflict. Defense laboratories across the country are busy testing prototypes and refining new systems. Recognizing the importance of alliances, Japan is also deepening its cooperation with key partners, especially the United States. Joint military exercises are now a regular occurrence, strengthening the bond between the two countries and ensuring that they can respond together to any crisis. The partnership with the US is seen as a cornerstone of Japan's security strategy. Japanese leaders have been clear in their message to both their own citizens and the world. Japan will defend its territory and its national interests. The government has pledged to take whatever steps are necessary to protect the country from external threats and to maintain peace and stability in the region. As tensions continue to rise in East Asia, Japan is taking a firm and resolute stance. The country is determined to safeguard its people and its way of life, even as the region becomes more unpredictable and uncertain. In this challenging environment, Japan's commitment to its own security has never been stronger. Japan has a new weapon, the electromagnetic railgun. This weapon is a game changer. Railguns use electricity to fire projectiles at incredible speeds. Traditional guns use explosives. Railguns use electromagnetic force. This force propels projectiles to hypersonic speeds. This makes the railgun a powerful weapon. Railguns have several advantages. They are faster than traditional guns. They are also more accurate. And they are harder to defend against. This makes the railgun a significant development in military technology. Japan is putting railguns on its warships. This is a major step for Japan's Navy. The railguns will give Japan a significant advantage at sea. Recently, Japan conducted a test. They fired a railgun projectile at sea. The test was successful. The projectile traveled at incredible speed. This test demonstrated the power of Japan's new weapon. Japan plans to deploy railguns on more ships. This will enhance Japan's naval capabilities. The railguns will give Japan a powerful deterrent against threats. They will also strengthen Japan's position in the region. Japan is also improving its missiles. The country is developing hypersonic missiles. These missiles can travel at 5 times the speed of sound. Japan is also developing longer-range missiles. These missiles can reach targets farther away. Japan recently tested a new hypersonic missile. The test was successful. The missile reached its target with pinpoint accuracy. This test showcased Japan's growing missile capabilities. These missiles are designed for defense. They can intercept threats from afar. This includes missiles from North Korea. It also includes potential threats from China. Japan is not alone in its efforts. The country is working with allies. The United States is a key partner. Japan and the United States share intelligence. They also conduct joint military exercises. This cooperation is crucial for Japan. It allows Japan to access advanced technology. It also strengthens Japan's defense capabilities. The United States supports Japan's efforts to defend itself. The two countries have a strong alliance. They are committed to maintaining peace and stability in the region. In recent years, Japan's military buildup has become a focal point of international attention, raising concerns both within the region and beyond. Once known for its pacifist constitution and limited defense posture, Japan is now investing heavily in advanced weaponry, expanding its defense budget, and conducting more frequent military exercises. This shift marks a significant change in Japan's approach to national security, signaling a new era in Asia-Pacific power dynamics. Countries like China, Russia, and North Korea are watching these developments very closely. For them, Japan's growing military capabilities are not just a matter of regional balance, but a potential challenge to their own security and influence. Among these nations, China is particularly concerned. Chinese officials and analysts frequently discuss Japan's military modernization, viewing it as a direct response to China's own rise. The Chinese government sees Japan's actions as a possible attempt to counterbalance China's growing power in East Asia. In Beijing's eyes, Japan is emerging as a potential rival, especially in the contested waters of the East China Sea. The increased presence of Japanese and Chinese ships and aircraft in these areas has heightened tensions and raised the risk of accidental clashes. Japan's development of cutting-edge weapons such as railguns and advanced missile defense systems could challenge China's military dominance in the region. These new technologies are seen as game changers, prompting China and even Russia to reconsider their own military strategies. Russia too is uneasy about Japan's growing capabilities. Russia has long-standing territorial disputes with Japan, particularly over the Kuril Islands. The presence of more capable Japanese forces near these disputed territories adds a new layer of complexity to an already tense relationship. As Japan continues to strengthen its military, Russia worries that it may become more difficult to assert its interests in the region. The increased Japanese military presence could limit Russia's freedom of action and complicate negotiations over disputed territories. North Korea, meanwhile, has always viewed Japan as a hostile neighbor. Pyongyang's state media frequently denounces Japan's military buildup, portraying it as a direct threat to North Korean sovereignty and security. With Japan's new weapons and advanced military technology, North Korea feels increasingly vulnerable. These developments are seen as a direct threat to North Korea's security, prompting the regime to ramp up its own military preparations and rhetoric against Japan. Japan's recent military buildup is drawing attention across the Asia-Pacific region, and its implications are far-reaching. Over the past decade, Japan has steadily increased its defense budget, modernized its self-defense forces, and expanded its military capabilities. These moves are seen by some as a response to growing security challenges, including territorial disputes and the rise of regional powers. As Japan showcases its advanced warships and military technology, neighboring countries are watching closely, trying to assess what this means for the balance of power in Asia. This military modernization could potentially trigger an arms race in Asia, as other countries may feel compelled to strengthen their own forces in response. Already, we are seeing increased military exercises and joint drills among Asian nations, signaling a new era of competition and strategic maneuvering. The presence of advanced fighter jets and naval fleets from multiple countries on high alert underscores the growing sense of unease in the region. Such developments risk escalating tensions and could lead to greater instability. Diplomatic relations are being tested as countries navigate a complex web of alliances and rivalries. The possibility of misunderstandings or accidental confrontations is a real concern, raising questions about the future of peace and security in Asia. Despite these concerns, Japanese officials maintain that their actions are strictly defensive in nature. They emphasize that Japan's constitution, which renounces war, still guides their policies. The government insists that all military upgrades and exercises are intended solely to protect the nation from external threats, not to provoke or intimidate its neighbors. Many Japanese citizens support the government's stance, believing that a stronger defense is necessary in an uncertain world. However, there are also voices of concern within Japan, with some worried that increased militarization could make the country a target or draw it into regional conflicts. Civil defense drills and the deployment of anti-missile systems have become more common, reflecting both preparedness and anxiety among the public. Japan also points to its ongoing commitment to peacekeeping and humanitarian missions as evidence of its peaceful intentions. The country regularly participates in international efforts to provide disaster relief and maintain stability, reinforcing its image as a responsible global actor. Japanese diplomats continue to engage with foreign counterparts, seeking to reassure the world that Japan is not seeking to threaten any other country. The international community, however, remains divided on Japan's military resurgence. Some experts and world leaders welcome Japan's efforts to contribute more to regional security, especially in light of shared concerns about emerging threats. Others worry that these changes could upset the delicate balance in Asia and spark a new era of rivalry. Key allies, such as the United States, openly support Japan's right to defend itself and encourage closer security cooperation. These partnerships are seen as vital for maintaining stability and deterring aggression in the region. Joint military exercises and strategic dialogues highlight the importance of collaboration among like-minded nations. On the other hand, some countries and groups express deep concern about the potential consequences of an arms race. Protests and debates reflect fears that increased militarization could lead to unintended conflicts or undermine efforts at peaceful resolution. Diplomats and experts continue to urge caution and dialogue to prevent escalation. As these debates continue, the world is watching closely. Only time will tell how these developments will ultimately play out, and whether Japan's actions will lead to greater security or new challenges for the region. What is certain, however, is that Japan remains a major player in the Asia-Pacific. Its strategic decisions, military posture, and diplomatic efforts will continue to shape the security landscape for years to come. As the region faces new uncertainties, Japan's actions will have a significant and lasting impact on the future of Asia-Pacific security. The world will be watching as events unfold, and the choices made today will echo for generations.